Hello and welcome to another episode of the blerddadpodcast. I am your host, glennlawrence, and I don't know if you can see that. Oh, okay, I had a little something under my eye. It was a teardrop because it's been a very hard week. The kid has now moved on to the part of the babying, I guess, the growing up, where he's just now having all kinds of random wake up times. It's crazy. It's insane. We thought we had a schedule, and he's like, I don't care about that schedule one bit. And he's up, I'm up. So it's a lot. I've been going through a lot. I know you have probably missed us for a little bit. Had an episode last week where I was just talking about how I was feeling a little bit down, and I'm back. I can say that I'm feeling good. I'm feeling back. But you are tuned into the Blerd Dad podcast. It's a space where we have unfiltered conversations and nerd out about fatherhood. I'm your host, glennlawrence. Very happy to be here. And like I said, there's a lot going on in the world. But before we get to that, very quick shout out to my sponsor. They Made Me Wear It. As always, check them out. TheyMadeMeWearIt.com. They're dog stylists for the everyday paw rent. I love that little pun there. That's a husband and wife team, and they're on a mission to help dogs discover their fashionable side. So whether it's a Halloween costume, adorable dress, comfy jammies, or custom designer gown, your fur baby will love wearing the latest fashions. Also, when you're shopping in their store, just know that you're doing a good deed. You're helping contribute to Hope for Paws, which is an animal rescue organization that works tirelessly to rescue and save the lives of abandoned animals. So what are you waiting for? You out there watching. I know there's a viewer. What are you waiting for? Go to TheyMadeMeWearIt.com. Get your pet, your doggy, laced up in the latest fashions. And remember to use code word blerd at checkout for 15% off the entire store when you do so. Hey, world, what is going on, man? It's been a crazy time in the world. We got, there's a lot going on. I don't even know where to begin. There's so much happening. The Travis Scott thing is crazy. As a performer, someone's performed. I'm like, man, take care of your audience. You know what I'm saying? But should have knew something was up when you have to walk into another dude's mouth to get to the show. That feels a little bit weird for me. It might be some people's thing, not my thing. I don't want to enter anybody's mouth to get entertainment. That's not my bag. I've been catching up on Insecure. I know people are upset at me because I'm not up to date on Insecure, but I'm catching up. I'll tell you the truth. Here's what happened. I was way too invested in the characters. I got too upset at Issa and Lawrence's relationship, and I would just get mad at both of them. So I had to take a break. I needed a breakup from both of them. And now I'm going to kind of get back into the swing of things so I could watch and nerd out on this final season. But I was upset. I was upset at Issa. I was upset at Lawrence. I was upset at the whole crew. And then Molly started acting wild. And, you know, I had to pull away for a second. I apologize, but I'll be back at it. Also back at it, Marvel released Eternals. I don't know if you guys saw that, but as a new parent, it's very difficult to get out and see these movies that you would normally just go see. So we had a little date night. That was very, very awesome. We got to go out to the movie theater and we got to see Eternals. We were worried about the baby the whole time, but luckily the movie was pretty solid. I know there's a lot of critics who say they don't like it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. It was a nice little break before we get back into the real MCU. What else is going on? This week, I will be at the Southern. That's this Friday. I'll be at the Southern. I will not be performing. I will be recording the crowd work special for comedian Chris Allen. It's going to be a rip-roaring good time. So if you haven't got your tickets for that and you're in the Charlottesville area, please come out to the Southern. 8 o'clock on Friday. That's going to be a really good time. You'll see me sweating like a grease pig back there, trying to get all this set up for that production. So that should be really fun. But I am in these comedy streets, and if you wanted to catch me, you can catch me on Sunday. I'll be at Tarbenders with Belly Laughs. Elena Torres is going to be headlining. I will be one of the featured comedians. And here's to hoping I don't bomb. It's been a long time since I got on stage, so here's to hoping that goes well. I tell you what, I've been to open mics, definitely energy that I have not experienced in a while, and it was awkward for me. So I mean, it wasn't that awkward, you know what I'm saying? I'm still blerddad over here, you know what I'm saying? I'm still killing it, but it was definitely, when I stepped on stage, I was like, whoa, I haven't done this in a while. I gotta get back to it. But somebody who's been going really, really hard is our Next guest, it's the holiday season. I couldn't think of a better way to bring in the holiday season with someone who always brings so much cheer to audiences all around the DC area. Simone Chifforobe. I hope I am saying that right, but he's probably going to yell at me if I am not. But Simone is a Washington DC based comedian, and he's performed on DC main stages such as the DC Improv, DC Drafthouse, and for national touring headliners like Amir K, Bob Marley, Langston Kerman, Cristela Alonzo, who I love. She is great. I love her show. She's hilarious. Fortune Feimster, David Alan Grier. That's a legend. Jesus. Pete Davidson, Tommy Davidson, Iliza Shlesinger, all kinds of people. He's performed in London, England, Paris, France, Reykjavik, Iceland, Capetown. South. I'm saying way too many things. He knows all the amazing things that he's done. Now you know all the amazing things that he's done. Let me bring him in here. Please welcome my guest, Simone. What's going on, Simone? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, man. How you been, man? Glenn.
I cannot complain, man. Woo. I've been on hiatus for a while, you know.
I know. I get it.
Because of the pandemic situation and then the kid situation. But now I'm back in these streets, as they say.
I can't wait to see you, man. It's been a minute since I've seen you in person. Last time I saw you was at Tommy Taylor's show, I think.
Yeah.
It was outdoor. We had a mask.
The almost ladies' night extravaganza, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, but man, I know how it is that you got that new dad smell.
Yeah. So I mean, the pandemic happened. The pandemic happened, so it's like you back up, right? And it's like, okay, what's going on? And then we got, pregnant in the pandemic and had a pandemic baby. So during pregnancy, it's like taking care of her.
He gets it in.
And then now that the baby's here, but I've been vaccinated. I got tested. I ended up getting COVID, testing positive for COVID.
Oh no!
But this is a while ago, but I was asymptomatic, and it just I didn't even I wouldn't have known, except for we had gone to a wedding, right? Precautions, mask. Everybody's supposed to be vaxxed, all that type of stuff. I got tested before the wedding. Right. And everything was fine. And then after the wedding, my wife gets tested. She's fine. So I don't even check my results until later that night. Cause she checked her. She's like, oh, I'm fine. I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it later. So I checked them later that night and it was like positive. And I'm like, what is that?
Oh,
yeah. But I was asymptomatic. So I, quarantined for a few days. So that's kind of why I'm back out in the streets. Cause I'm like, well, if I had it, I have the antibodies. I've got vaccinated. There's not too much to
you get the booster yet?
I don't know if I'm gonna get the booster. Because natural immunity is pretty strong in most of the studies that they've seen, once you have gotten the antibodies and COVID or whatever. So I don't think I need the booster. So
I just got mine, and I was just saying on social media, I was like, my only side effect was the munchies. is crazy. I was like, does my insurance suck that bad? Is that what happens?
But which one did you get? Which booster did you get?
So I got the Pfizer booster, but I did Moderna when I got vaccinated.
Oh, you mixing and matching. You adventurous out there.
This is what life is, man. This is what life is.
He's like, all right, let me get a little bit of the Moderna. Let me get a little bit of the J&J.
No, I wouldn't say that far, J&J.
Is that?
I keep my J&J in the soap. But what was I gonna say? Oh, for the wedding, because I actually went to a wedding too. Did you travel when you?
It was in DC. So
it was DC. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So it was travel. It was actually the first time we were outside of the house with the baby, as well, because by that point he was, a few months in. So we took him into the hotel room, and then we went and partied and left. No, I'm joking. We didn't leave him upstairs. We left him with someone. He's young enough. He's old enough to fend for himself. No, we left him with a good friend who is used to babysitting, knows baby.
Okay.
So it was kind of cool. It was like that. I don't know how you all felt. Is this your first kid, second kid?
First. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a little nerve-wracking.
Of course. Yeah.
You're just scared about everything. So
everything. And then on top of that, COVID, it's like you're already scared. See, we had ours in 2019 before COVID. So we already just scared. But then on top of that with COVID, man, and I feel for you, bro.
Yeah. So now you have like a 1-year-old, right? They're walking around.
2.5.
2.5. Okay. Yeah, I can't do math. Clearly. 2019.
I went to public school too. It's all right.
Sometimes it comes, I could do it. It just takes a while to get there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of wrong answers on the way. But congratulations. I remember talking to you when you were like a couple years ago when you were pregnant at like a show.
Yeah, I carry it well, right?
Yeah.
I carry
How's
well.
dad life treating you?
Yeah, dad life. It's busy because now she's in the terrible twos, and you were talking about sleep. It's good. There is a point where you get a fixed schedule. You get like a good nap time, and then a good, late night sleep, or a sleep at night. But now she's kind of regressing. The toddlers regress sometimes in sleep.
Yeah.
And then they also have the ability to walk and run and say words. So, but and I've said this on stage before, which is true. The upside of this whole pandemic, if you try to be positive, is at least I've seen like the milestones, more than if I, typical work schedule where you go off to work and you come back. So I'm there. We have a daycare, but that, it took a while for that to kind of open back up, with all the pandemic and everything. So we were kind of holding it down for a while. So we're driving each other crazy, the parents, me, my wife, and the little one. But it's just fun to see a personality. She has her own personality. And I'm sure you already seen your son, a personality. Yeah. It's little. It's like, you don't have to use words. You can communicate.
Little
it's
things.
Just sounds. Yeah. He knows. You can communicate. He can give you a look like, what did you just say? It's not nap time.
Well, his thing is, and I'm trying to formulate this for the stage, but I haven't been to open mics in a while, so I'm still trying to get that. But he wants eye contact, like all the time. Like when you're feeding him or whatever, he's just like, no, hey, look at hey. So if I turn around and do something, hey, like he just does a yell. It's like a yelp, like hey. And then I look at him and then he just starts smiling at me. But then I turn around, he frowns
because you know what it is. He wants that stage time. He wants that parent stage time
already. He's like
a performer. Yeah.
He's like, I didn't get the light yet. It's funny too, because when I like try to, you try to take a picture of them and you're thinking, oh, they're not aware. They're just a baby. They're doing their cute little thing. I'm gonna take this picture of them. But as soon as I pull the camera out, he looks at it and then he's like deciding whether he's going to pose or like throw his hand up. It's, no pictures, please.
How old is he now? How old is he now?
He's like 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah. He's progressing pretty quick. I don't know kids. Like I don't know babies, you know what I mean? Like I don't know their stages, but in my eyes, it feels like it's progressing super fast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's crazy how this little person just takes over your life. The whole world is different.
Yeah, so crazy that before this I had a whole comedy thing, and I would have put out a podcast that was about comedy. Now my whole podcast is about me fathering. Like that's how far it's come. He's like taking over my creative endeavors too.
But that gives you a whole new perspective, man. It's a whole new perspective. And you know what? You actually you appreciate your parents probably more.
I was just talking about this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had this, like when you had them and you're looking at them, your daughter, right? You have a daughter.
Yeah,
right?
daughter. Yeah.
When you're looking at her and like you realize, like, oh, my parents love me way more than I love them. Like there's like that moment where you're like, because you understand how much you love this kid, and that kid is just going to be walking around doing their thing and not understand, like, dude, I like everything is in you right now. Like,
and don't forget, your wife loves your baby more than you.
Oh,
and my same thing. My wife, because my wife, she was away for a trip and she came back and she hugged our daughter. She's like, oh my gosh, I missed you. And then she comes over to me. She's like, all right, so where is this? My mail.
Right.
This? I was like, can I get a little?
I love to. Yeah.
A little something.
You know what?
So, I mean, look, it's fine. I get it. It works both. It just works. It's just the little one takes all of everything.
I get that. One thing that I was saying is because they carry the baby for like 9 months.
And inside
them and then it's out. Yeah. And I'm like, no matter what, I really like, I love this kid the most I've ever loved anything, right?
Yeah,
But
sure.
I know that mom's love trumps my love for
Yeah.
baby, because it's like there's a thing there, and I'm just like, I just stand back, you know what I mean? Like I'll give suggestions. I'll be like, well, maybe we should do this. And it's just like, I don't want to get my, hand chopped off or
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Moms, it's a big difference, man. That's why, after having a kid, I'm like, all right, I get why Mother's Day is bigger. I get it. I get it. I really do. Like, true story, as you know, when the baby's crying at night, it's 3 o'clock. It's maybe the second or third time baby's crying, and it's your turn. You kind of just wait for like, you try to time it like,
Right.
all right, he's gonna go back to sleep. He's gonna
Right.
go back to sleep.
Right.
And then you're like, and then you fart a little, and then you're like, and you're like, and then she's like, come on, go, and you're like, just give her a minute. And then the mom says, forget it, and just goes, and then you go back to sleep. That's why Mother's Day is bigger.
Yeah. Nah,
That's what it is.
It's weird. I don't know if I'm a weird dude. Plus, I had the kid when I'm much older, right? So I'm like 40 now. So I'm like really excited. I'm like gung ho about changing diapers and stuff.
Okay.
I'm just like, yes, I did it. I made one. You know what I mean? So that's so that's weird. But yeah, man, the late night trying to gauge his little moods or whatever. And with her, she's breastfeeding, so she's up all the time, and I'll be like, all right, well, just rest, I'll get this one. She's like, I can't, I gotta be up. And I'm like, well, we both don't have to suffer. And then I'll just go back to
that's what it is, man. That's what life is. It's crazy, but we're fortunate to do it, and then also, if you can get back out, it's tough to get back out there, because I had to take a month off. I had to take a month off myself, and after that month, it was just, you got to get back in that groove, what you were talking about. I mean, this is pre-pandemic.
Right.
On top of that, it's just, first there's pandemic rust, just because everyone's pandemic situation. But in a way, that's kind of a good thing, because you all kind of have, like, everyone has like the pandemic perspective. But then on top of that, you're like, by the way, I also had a baby. But then also people broke up. People broke up. I've seen there's so many couples that have broken up. People have pandemic babies, but also a lot of breakups too.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I was taking on stage. It's like there's no casual dating in the pandemic. You know what I mean? Like this is the apocalypse. Are we going the distance together? Are we going to hunker down together? You know what I mean? It's like, and it just crystallizes things. It's like, hey, you kind of know what it's going to be immediately. Life is short. So, but yeah, it was kind of the perfect time to have a baby. I was very hard charging in terms of comedy.
Tell me, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like, we're out 6 nights a week.
Okay, I thought you meant hard charging like something else. I was like, damn, dog, man, you just say everything, don't you? Okay,
we keep it PG-13 here.
Okay.
At least we try to. We have one sponsor. We're not trying to lose that one sponsor. But I would start 6-7 times a week going out, and then pandemic happens and that drops to like none. So you have that rest, but luckily everyone's kind of in the same boat, so it's not like anyone was getting ahead. Although like a year and a half into the pandemic, then people started going out. You start seeing more people at shows, and then that year and a half in is when I was going through the whole pregnancy. So it's kind of like lucky, that I had the kid now, because it's almost like, oh, he was just gone like everybody else during the pandemic, and everybody's like kind of just coming back now, getting back into their stride. So I'm trying to slide in so people don't notice that I was gone for that. I don't think anybody cared or noticed it. But I'm trying to slide in like, hey.
But see, that's what comedy, man. It's just, it keeps going. And it's funny because you might see some new names when you're back out there on the mic scene.
Yeah.
You're going to see some people who are just, who've been doing it for a while. And then just some people like, damn, you still doing this? It's funny. It's funny.
It's like, you still got that old bit?
Yeah. And
I like those people. They make me feel like I haven't missed a beat. You know what I'm saying? I like people who are still doing the same bits. I'm like, thank you. appreciate that. But there's some people who have gotten funnier during this time and
yep.
better.
If you use the time, you could easily hit up more spots. Just
Angel Morla, he's doing Spaghetti on the Beach. He he's like taking off. He's like, I come back and he's like, the man now. I'm like, damn.
He put in the work, and that's the thing.
Definitely.
No matter what, you put in the work, you will see results. You might, you might not be an SNL, but the thing is, only so many people can be. But you will get better, no matter what. You do anything, you work, you're gonna get better.
Yeah, that's and that's something that I want to instill into the kid. This is the other thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, I need to get back on stage because pretty soon this kid is going to become cognizant, and I don't want him like his first like cognizant memories are of dad bombing or not being good at the thing that he's chosen to do. What I mean? So, like, I can't go out here and bomb it up in front of him, and then he's just like, we're the sucky family. Like we do things that aren't great.
No, you got some good ones, and I know that you just bring in more to the table with this experience, man.
It's fun. How about you? How's your comedy changed since you had a little girl?
I think it's give me perspective. It's just perspective, and really also material. It definitely. You were talking about PG-13, made me feel like I can do more PG-13, and it's okay. I think that's one thing I've been trying to get away from. I mean, I wasn't too big of when you first start comedy, most people kind of tend towards the sex, race, cursing, just get that quick laugh, right? Mm-hmm. But then over time, you try to kind of get away from that, just kind of get your own voice. And I feel like my voice is now becoming more family centric. But at the same time, I could still talk to, dating life, because I was dating for a while before married and having a kid. But I can still kind of see the comparisons. Because to me, marriage and being single is like two different types of parties. Right. Like any party, it's just time to go. Yeah. It goes both ways, though.
Right.
It's time to go. And I got sloppy. I've gotten sloppy in both.
I could totally agree and feel you on that.
Yeah, because you always get to those parties like, man, it's, nobody's here, nobody's talking. It's just, come on, man. Yeah. But with the kids, I definitely see now also back to how I was raised. For those who don't know, Glenn, for your audience, I'm a first generation American. I'm like a Toyota Corolla. I have foreign parts, but I was assembled here in America. Yeah. So my parents are immigrants from Ethiopia, so I can see that perspective. But then I always kind of think, what would my ethnic dad do in this scenario? Right. But then, of course, now they're grandparents, and they spoil the little girl. So they get to have their fun. They get to get the little one wound up on candy, sugar, and they're like, all right, now it's your problem.
Dude, that's an interesting perspective, having like immigrant parents, because my parents are from because they immigrated, right? Born here. Yeah, so it's a interesting perspective. And I have been thinking about like how did they do it? Like your parent, like I've gotten to a place where I'm pretty good, have a job.
Yeah, I see your thing. I see it looks nice back there. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I've it's apartment, it's a 1-bedroom, so don't it's not that fancy. By the way, if you want to sponsor us, you can help us get into a home. But they were able to raise me up, right? And I'm like I just, now he's so small. It's almost like a choose your own adventure novel where like none of the pages have been turned yet. And I'm like, for the first part of that book, I'm gonna be turning some of those pages. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And it's a big worry of like, ooh, like I'm watching something on TV, and I'm like, ooh, is this like making an impression? Like, yeah, did I not have watched that one show that one time? Because I feel like it's a lot of pressure if you think about it. It's like, oh, I could see why there's helicopter parents. We're like, everything I need to make sure is perfect.
Oh yeah, and they definitely pay attention, because one time we were in the kitchen, my wife, myself, the little one, and we dropped like a dish, and I just said shit, and then the little one's like shit, shit, And it's just like, oh,
It's like, oh, that's in there. It's imprinted.
It's what it is. And because you just don't know what they hear, what they don't hear.
Yeah.
So you think that she's not paying attention, but she's paying attention.
Like kids are like they're like little courtroom stenographers, but you never know when they're going to read back the transcript.
Yeah.
Like,
basically, or they're kind of like parrots. They just say things.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you weren't supposed to say that at this time.
Yeah. So again, this is life, man. And that's the thing too. I always say, my parents did it, so why am I struggling like this? Why am I struggling? Why are we struggling? We shouldn't be struggling. But then again, everyone has their own thing. Everyone has different issues.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
your parents, like my parents, probably didn't have to deal with like all this social media and all this like content. Like for us, we came up and we get introduced to things slowly, right? So it went from Atari to Nintendo to Genesis these kids are coming out and they're like everything right in your face, like immediately.
Yeah, because my little one, she thinks a TV works the same way like a iPad. So you get to see her scrolling the screen. I'm like, sorry, honey, this is not. Well, she's like, I'm like, is she trying to like mess with us, saying this is not a smart TV? I swear, Glenn, I'm not even making this up. I swear. I was giving her a bath last week, and I was wearing like a V-neck shirt that she pulled and she stretched. And then I'm giving her a bath, and then she goes like this, ooh, boobies. I'm getting roasted by a toddler.
You're like, I was going to work on that.
My toddler is roasting me right now. This is, first off, I got to get to the gym, right? First off, I got to tighten some stuff up. But damn, they're honest. They're honest. What it is. They don't know to not hurt your feelings. Like, I'm just glad she didn't do this.
Just jiggle over something. It's the worst is, because he's breastfeeding right now, and they got to get their wiggle to where they're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And my biggest fear is one day he's going to latch, you know what I mean, onto me, and then all bets are. I'll be so sad. Because it's like, he like right now he can like he goes down, he's like, wait, this is not a milky boob. It's a boob. It's not a milky boob. And then he'll like cry, and then I give him to mom, and it's fine.
It's chocolate milk boob. Yeah,
exactly. One day I'm like, he might accidentally latch, and I'm gonna be so angry.
You're like, son is like, and then he's like, you're right. He's like,
yeah. You know what's funny? Because my son the other day, he pulled my shirt open, and then he like leaned over and threw up in it. And I was like, okay, I was like, you know what? I should have known that. Like, I didn't know what he was going to do. I was like, oh, yeah, he's doing the little
he's like, by the way, before you get out of here, let me tell you something real quick. Nice.
Leave you with a little something.
This is to go bag. Here's your to go bag right here.
Oh yeah, dude. It's wild, but it's really, really fun. It's one of my favorite things to talk about it,
that's it. But have you done this yet? This is something I still struggle with to this day. When you go out, do you talk to your single friends about your baby all the time? Do you pull out the phone with the pictures, the curated pictures, like I do? You got like, this is my cute album, all the best shots.
I do that. Luckily for me, I waited so long to have one. Like all of my other single friends have fallen off. Like they've all had kids by now. So I'm like the last one in the batch. So it's like, I got a few single friends here and there. And the good thing about them is they're reaching their 30s. So they're like, oh, they're starting to get into the baby fever thing. So they're really, really interested. I've structured this thing pretty well. You know what I mean?
I feel you on this because, but the one thing is, at least not necessarily, but the female comedians will, I think they like that kind of approach because they're so tired of the creepy single dudes. So when they see you, I mean, you're already, no one would ever think otherwise, but you'd be kind of like the good ones. You're like the dad. You're like the dad comic.
Yeah.
Comic. And so it's like a different vibe as opposed to single guy. Because I was single when I started comedy. You know? So I've seen the difference in how I'm received. You know. Also to the newer comics, you're like, oh, you're tell me what it's like to do more than 5 minutes. You know, could you? And then also, but they also do ask, just like, and I'm sure you too. What's it like when you have a relationship? What is it like when you have a kid? Because they're curious. And then also I've even had some comedians just say, "What's it like to have a kid?" Even though it's even a little different for a male comedian, because obviously we can't do certain things, but it's interesting. Yeah. And I've also seen the guys who I started with who were single who now have kids. It's just funny to see people grow up, and then it's also to see the newer class, like the newer comedian class,
younger single dudes and single women.
Because they have that kind of energy, that kind of like, I see these memes. Like the comedians who've been doing it for 10 years, like the open mic comic who just started year one. And then you ever see that Batman meme?
Yeah.
Was it Batman? I think it's Batman, right? Like the guy who's been doing 10 years, like looking like he just what's this guy doing? And then like the first year comic, like all happy, excited. That's the way I feel like, not just in comedy but also relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
I look at him like, oh, I like the enthusiasm.
Yeah, dude. Because I've been married before, so like.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm also someone who has gone through that, so it's like I'm totally jaded about everything.
That's nice though.
It is nice, but I feel bad because I would like for my wife to have like the same thing that I had, like that naiveness and love, like, oh, everything is great or whatever.
No,
but I want to give that to her. I want her to ask me a question and not have my natural reaction be like, yeah.
That comes through therapy. That comes through therapy. But I was going to say, it's actually good that she's naive, because if she was cynical too, that's a different mix. You need someone who's cynical.
No, I wish I was naive again.
No, but I'm saying
I could be like, oh, I love flowers or
whatever. But I think it's better for you in the long run, because you understand what it is more on a day-to-day basis versus what people imagine it to be.
Yes.
The real relationship is the day-to-day.
Yeah. Well, that's I keep us on track. You know what I mean? Because like she's like, yay, gung ho, right? And then I'm like, all right, I'm the rusty old veteran who's like steering the ship. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we got to do if we want to make it. You know what I mean?
See, that's why every movie has that dude. Is that guy? Grizzled vet. You partner up with a kind of rookie or a newer person. That's the combo. That's a combo that works in buddy cop movies and relationships.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes I just look at her and I'm just like, I love her. I love you. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, just like, because I was there before and I appreciate it. It's just, but there's a certain heartbreak where your heart never goes back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like going through that, it's like, okay, I've dealt with it, but I can still love. And she's actually helped me figure out how to love. So that's a kudos to her. But sometimes I do get, I feel like she she'll say these things and I'll be like, man, I know like how it was once before, the heartbreak or whatever. And I'm like, I wish I could get that back where, you don't know any difference. Like, this is the greatest thing ever and it's going to last forever and all that.
Did you, if you don't mind me asking, I may have missed the story. Did you get married really young and just
26 or so?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because again, if you got married young, it's almost like you didn't know.
Dads are allowed to have pics of kids. Single guys are, unless it's like a niece or a nephew. Thank you, Gabriella. Yeah.
Well, hopefully Gabriella, Mac, or Glenn and I don't have pictures of other people's kids on our phones.
I have of my other friends, but I would never bring them out and be like, "Hey, look at this kid." You know what I mean? It's it was weird too because because being a single guy and like having a love for kids, like I enjoy kids. Like I used to coach, I used to substitute teacher, or whatever. But you can't be too like excited about kids when you're like single because it's like, yo, what's going on? You're a little bit too excited to see my child. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
But now being a dad, I could let all that like, I love kids. I love.
You can get the hat. You can get the Williams dad hat. You can be the coach on the side. That's actually my plan right here. I want to get the little one. We got her in piano lessons. We're going to get her in soccer. Got her in soccer. We're going to get her going. I'm just going to be the dad. I want to get branded T-shirts, sweatshirts.
You're excited about going to all the different meetings and things that they have going on.
I can't wait to yell. I can't wait. That's what being a black dad's all about. By the way, I don't know if I'm putting on the earbud because
I can hear it. It's like
You can hear it?
Yeah, I can hear the I don't know what's going on, but it sounds fun over. Did I say your last name right?
Oh,
or do you just go by Simone?
I just go by Simone because I'm keeping it down now because I can see she's having a hard time going to sleep. I think my loud voice is carrying. See, this is the real life Gabriella audience. Yeah. This is what life is in these suburban streets. So, stage name I go for Simone because last name Chifforobe is just like people just messed it up so much, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just stand out a little bit, and there you go. And that's how that happened. Yeah.
I like it. I will say this, compliment incoming. You're one of the most dynamic comedians, I think, on the scene. Every time I see you, you're very funny, and you have like a wide swath of like material and ability. So I've always admired that.
Wide swath. Well, it looks like you were in public school too long. Okay, I got you.
I was one of those kids who pretended I was dumb, so I didn't get picked on. Trust me.
Who are you talking to? I get it.
Yeah, you know what's funny? In high school, I actually did have a bully like corner me one time, and it was straight out of like a ABC like after school movie. Like he cornered me, and I was like, "Why you always got to pick on me? Like, you know what I mean? Like you're a superstar. You don't need to do this." He's like, I'm the superstar. You're the superstar getting all those straight A's.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And I was just looking back. I'm like, that was such it was so weird. It was like an ABC after school movie. And then I'm just replaying in my head. Like that was out of a TV show.
Did you have a denim jacket? Did you have like a big backpack?
Yeah. I did, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got cornered, and he was just like, "You're the one getting all the straight A's. Always know the answer."
And then he's like, "By the way, can you help me with my homework?"
Yeah, but he was like he was like one of the superstars of the football team or whatever. And I was like, but the crazy thing is, we both played football. Like we're on the team. You know what I mean? So
okay.
It's like,
what did you play? What position you played?
I played cornerback and safety as well as receiver and running back.
So that means you got some speed on you, right?
I had some speed. Now I'm round. I can roll very quickly.
It's speed for a different thing.
Yeah, it's speed for a different thing now. Now I sweat while eating. That's where my athletic ability is.
But see, here's the best part of this, Glenn. This is high school, right?
Yeah.
You played high school football. That is legit dad story. You can sit any bar, have a beer, like, high school.
You know what's great?
School.
My cousin still is like, yeah, man, you was the man. And I was like, I mean, I was cool. And he's like, nah, you was the man. You was dope. I look up to you. And I was like, I'll take it. Yes.
See, this is why you're a coach. This is why you're always going to be coach. Yeah. And this is why you can go into any football field and do your remember the Titans speech.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I used to coach youth basketball. Undefeated season. I have a keychain to prove it. The 13-0, we went undefeated, and the other team we were coaching was 12-1. 12-1. But we would have won the championship. But our point guard decided to go to a gymnastics tournament before the championship game, like literally an hour before the championship game.
Damn, that's weird.
Gymnastics, and I was like, oh, you kind of just like. And then she came in, she was all tired. And and then we ended up losing the game. And I was like, hey,
what's the secret to your winning style?
My first of all, care, right? And I gave them. So here's one thing that I did is before practice, we would start out with word of the day, teamwork or strength or focus, all that type of thing, right?
Wow. That's like, by the way, Glenn, I'm sorry. That's like an Instagram model, like posting without the Instagram model. So that's I got you.
So I would do that, and I run it down, give them the sentence, give them the word of the day, and then we run through practice, and I try to ingrain that word throughout practice. And then at the end of the season, I ran down all the words that we had in all of our practices, and I said, when you use these words, this will lead you to success, like we've had in this season. And I talked to them like after they have gone on. They're a little bit older now, and they're like, oh, we still remember Coach Glenn. We love Coach Glenn. And it was kind of cool to be able to instill a little bit of something in them over the course of that one season. So in addition to having like an undefeated season, I had a totally defeated season where we won no games. So
okay, what happened there? Did you just have no quotes that year?
No, what happened is so we had our team, right? And then it was out in Loudoun County, and the thing out there is a lot of the parents have money, and they're just like, if I don't like something that the coach does or my kid's not playing, I'll just start a new team.
Yo, Loudoun County's wild. Is this all Loudoun County?
Yeah, Loudoun County is wild.
I was gonna say you should have talked about critical race theory. That would have been fun.
That was it's funny seeing all of that transpire right now. I'm like, I get it, because I went to schools in Loudoun County and I coached youth basketball in the county. So I'm like, oh yeah, that tracks. So yeah, dude,
Loudoun County seems like, because I have a buddy who is from Baltimore City.
Yes, we were very loving, by the way, in our football practices. We ended them in hugs. I'm sorry, you were saying Baltimore City.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't know if you could do hugs. Is that you're allowed to do that in this day and age? I thought you could go like this, like.
I don't know what they would do. But what were you saying, Baltimore? About Baltimore?
Yeah. So he's from the city in Baltimore, and he's trying to raise his kids and Loudoun, and it's a great environment, in general, but it's just the parents are too overbearing. Mm-hmm. He feels like everyone's too soft, and which I understand. It's just but then with this critical race theory thing taking off, this would basically swung the election in Virginia, and I didn't know what the dynamic. I know Fairfax County, which is very diverse, but I don't know how it is in Loudoun County. I think this diversity just came on later, but you tell me. I don't know the history of Loudoun County versus.
I think Loudoun County, you have like a lot of old white money, and then you have a lot. It's really the kind of clash that we'll probably see throughout the country, because it's becoming more diverse. You know what I mean? The tech companies are coming in, which brings in the higher paid jobs. So there's higher paid people coming in who are all types of different diversities, and their ideology is different than kind of this old money that you have kind of in Loudoun County, and it's kind of it's mixing the population breakup has swung. It used to be like 80-90% white, now it's like 43% white. You know what I mean? So it's like you're seeing a real change in the dynamic and the demographics in that area. As a matter of fact, I was reading a story today, because I do read, that they're saying like there's another issue that they're having, which is mental health. Like now these parents who are also against like kind of the things like which critical race theory, it annoys me, because it's like not the things that they're teaching are not theories. They're teaching just facts of what happened in life. And then they're like other people are trying to subscribe or ascribe this name to it for some college thing that has nothing to do with teaching facts. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that annoys me. But the thing that they're doing now that is on par with the argument about race and whatnot is mental health, because they're saying the mental health counselors or whatnot, that they're indoctrinating the kids, and that they're trying to tell them, like, talk to them about sadness, and it's making them more sad, and now they're saying that is also indoctrinating to these progressive ideas and whatnot. So they want to get rid of like the mental health counselors too.
Wow.
That's happening in Fairfax and Loudoun as well.
Damn. Okay. I didn't know about that. It's just mental health. Speaking of which, that industry blew the hell up. In the pandemic, they just
I hope they put that in the infrastructure plan, like mental, like therapy for everyone. The country needs therapy.
Why? We only have like 300 million guns. We only have we got social media. What's the problem with that? I mean,
Yeah, dude. I think there needs to be kind of like a collective like come together moment where we all get together and just be like, hold on. We've all been through a lot. Let's air our grievances and figure this out.
see, you know, and I'm actually glad that especially within the Black community, we are embracing mental health, wellness more. And I'm also glad to see more mental health professionals of color. You know, I'll tell you, I just started seeing this Jamaican therapist on Zoom.
Nice.
And that is the best. That is definitely something that, you know, I'll be talking about on stage at some point. But it's important to see yourself in these professional positions, and then also in healthcare. And I'm glad that we're embracing, because it used to be, you know, like, oh, you're going to therapy, you're crazy, or you know, that's another community thing to do. You know, we do it all. That's
or
the
you're
thing.
weak or something. You like,
yeah, it's just important. It's important because, you know, especially, you know, you as an athlete, you get it. You have a strength coach. You have a nutritionist. You got a trainer as a whole. You got a coach. You see all these people part of the team. You know, part of your, you know, development as a player and an athlete. Why wouldn't that be the same thing off the field? Same thing. Yeah. You got a money person. You got a mental health person. You got a you know, dietitian. You got like you got a trainer. Maybe I don't have a trainer, but you get where I'm going. Everyone has a team. We all have a team.
Yeah, and I think it's weird too to be like, no, just teach them the math and the science, and you know, again, they don't want math and science taught. So I'm like, what do you want the kids to learn? Like, you don't want them to feel good about themselves. You don't want them to learn about, you know, true things that happen in history. You don't like science, you know what I'm saying? And we also don't teach kids. Like, I think it is insane that we have a 13-year curriculum for these kids, and not once do we talk about balancing a checkbook or taxes or things that will really affect their life for the rest of their life.
Well, there's a theory on that. The theory the theory is schools are built to create a workforce for the rich.
Yeah.
And then that's intentional in a design.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not trying to live in the YouTube comments, you know, conspiracy theorists. But the thing is, I love, actually, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to become more of a conspiracy theorist. I do think that there is something to it, that, you know, really K through 12, you're really just learning how to follow rules. You're not challenging anything. You really memorize, and then that trains you to be a worker, not a thinker, not independent. And then with the finances, you can't be financially independent, so you have to depend on a job. So we go to school to pay for a job, then we use our job to then pay for school.
Yeah,
that's design, man. That's a Hakuna Matata, man. That's what we learn,
dude. The circle of life. That's and this is a hard conversation to have when you have a kid, because then it comes like, should I homeschool my kid? Because like, I would like them to come out ahead, you know, and I feel like that's where you see certain cultures come out ahead in front of other cultures, because it's just natural for them to teach things like this, you know, like compound interest and taxes and stuff like that. Yeah. It's taught in some cultures, you know, better than others. I mean, for me, like, you know, I'm just like, you know, my mom instilled a little bit of entrepreneurship in me, just a little bit. Now imagine if our entire family was doing the same type of thing, you know what I mean? And you see your dad owning a business, you see this other person owning a business. It just ingrains in you to do that thing. Whereas I think a lot of people, what they see is, go get a job, go work for somebody else, go punch a clock, go, you know, and, you know, the pandemic, I think, brought down a lot of those walls. They're trying to put them back up as quick as they can. But I think it's hard. It's like that thing, you know, like you said, once you see, you can't unsee, you know?
Hey, that's the thing, man. People are quitting their jobs, man, because they see how you can live. We don't need to be physically in the office all the time.
Yeah.
Unless you're in construction, that's a whole different thing. But if you're in office work, you don't need to be in the office, physical office, maybe a couple days a week, but that's what everyone's learning, man. That's
Yeah.
what learning.
And all right, so here, Blerd we usually have, or we do have, a blerding question, which is, what do you nerd out about? What's the thing that gets your what heckles up, that gets you excited?
Damn, that's a good question. I love to, I love to nerd out about just like how to learn better, how to learn faster. I'm doing like speed reading kind of online courses, or even how to write better jokes. Trying to learn as much as I can. So I just love to learn. So I like to watch the greats do their thing, see what they're doing, what they're not doing, try to learn from that, use my own style. But at the same time, there's something that each great person in any field, they do. There's always clues. So you can kind of pick it out. And that's how I learn. I try to learn from the best.
I love it. You're a nerd's nerd.
Yeah, man. Look, I don't even need these glasses, dog. I was like, this is what we need. I'm in space.
I love that. I've because there's a limited amount of time in your day, and like if you're reading a book, the faster you get through it, the more knowledge you can get and use. I'll watch videos and whatnot, and I started watching videos at double the speed, or like 1.75 the speed, because it's like, oh, I could get in, instead of watching a 20-minute video, I could watch that 20-minute video in 10 minutes and then move on to another, and then get double or triple the information.
How much more efficient are you, right? How much you get now? But part of it is also just what we have to do, especially when you have a little one. We only have so much time. So how do you make the most of your time that you have? So this is why I keep trying to learn, because I'm trying to get as much out there as possible. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to improve. Yeah. And there's only so much I have time to do it. I have a day job too, so I got to figure it out.
Dude, we're in the same boat, man, and I feel like it's a challenge. It's something that we're gonna figure it out. We'll figure it out together eventually, I'm sure. You know what I mean? And get to the pinnacle where we're like, haha, we've done it. And then we can leave a legacy behind for these kids to look up to. Like, damn, Daddy worked really hard. He read 2 times faster than any man I know. And,
that's what I'm saying. Like my father, who goes by he, him. No, but I totally get it. That's what it is. It's just we just have to figure it out. It's just, I'm just trying to survive. I'm trying to make it, and that's it, bro. That's it.
Yeah. What's the last book you read, if you don't mind me asking? Is that too personal?
Oh, well, not really. It's fine. I am Paulo Coelho, Alchemist, but then. And then also I've been reading, well, the things I read really more than anything else, I read like The Economist, Espresso, Economist, keep on current events, but try to have an international lens. Because, I'm Ethiopian too, so I'm trying to keep up what's going on in Ethiopia. And then I try to keep up what's going on here, because, trying to stay on top of it. So it's just, in general, I just love it. Here we go. I'm wasting 3 hours on YouTube just watching Twice the Cat.
You speed it up and you get more cat videos per hour.
But see, that's the thing, though. It's all about what gives you the most out of what you want to get out of life, right? So if it's cat videos, watch that cat video more efficiently. If it's we're trying to learn how to change a diaper, if we're trying to learn how to get our kid to go to sleep, we're just trying to figure it out. It's just whatever you got to do to get to your goal. I'm all about that.
Yeah, man. No, I'm in agreement. That's I don't know.
Like Jay-Z used to say he could record as much as he does. Sorry to cut. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
He used to talk about back in the day, like even 10 years ago. He was saying he's all about one take. Yeah. How much more can you get done with one take? So how do we do that?
This is another thing that I've figured out is I have this problem where I'll allow perfect to be the enemy of the good. So I don't put out a lot of things. Listen, there's a lot of things I want to put out, and I'm like, it's not perfect. It's not perfect yet. And I got to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna release this thing. I'm just gonna start releasing things, because if I spend so much time trying to get this thing perfect, then 10 years later, I'll release this one perfect thing instead of having a body of work of 20, 30 things that some aren't good, but they got better, and X, Y, Z. This is why at the end of last year, I put out like a little YouTube comedy special that I put out, which is It's like a little 30-minute special. It's cool.
Nice.
I got to say something. If you want to check it out on YouTube, it's on the Level Up Comedy channel.
Let's do it. I definitely got to check it out.
Yeah, but I thought it was good, and it was like
I watch it at 1.5 speed.
Yeah, watch it at 1.5 speed. It's much better.
Okay.
I'll watch these videos of the podcast, and I'll put them on faster speed, and then I'll be like, "Oh, this is so funny," and then I'll watch it normal speed. I'm like, "It's funnier if I speed it up. Like I should speed myself up."
Okay, got you.
Maybe I'll have to speed my own delivery up so that it sounds like the YouTube. So where can the people find you next, man? This has been a super awesome conversation. I don't want people to miss out on seeing you out in the streets, out in the comedy streets in DC.
Yeah, Glenn, man, I appreciate you. First off, hopefully you follow me on the gram, Simone_comedy. I will be at the DuPont Underground Comedy Show on Wednesday, DuPont Circle. Can't miss it. It's right there. Literally, you go to DuPont Circle. It's like down the street. You go down. That's it. DuPont Underground.
Nice.
You can't miss it. So that's Wednesday night. But if you want to follow me on online, you can see all my shows. Just follow me at my website, leftistpanda.com, www.leftistpanda.com, or follow me on the gram. Either way, those are that's a place you can find where I'm going to be next, because I do all kinds of, I'm doing a lot of corporate shows, but outside of that, I've been trying to get out to DC Improv. I've been in DC Improv the last couple times, DC Comedy Loft. But hopefully I can get out of the area, travel a bit. I'm trying to get to New York, do some stuff there. But in any case, follow me on the gram or on that website, and you'll see where I'm at. Where I am at next, and see if I can learn anything and take it to the streets, teach the people. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, dude. This is after going into the pandemic, a lot of my comedy thoughts is like, okay, like I was having fun before, but I feel like I need to inform now. You know what I mean? Like, like how can I do that? But
you can do that.
Dude, I love it. I love the name of your website, by the way, Leftist Panda. That is that's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. I just well, I was a bit more leftist, so to speak, and everyone loves pandas. There you go. That's what happened there. That's all it was. It was just simple as that. It's a combination of words that I liked.
Yeah, and then as soon as you start getting older, you're like, now I'm a centrist panda. And
I'm like 401k panda.
401k panda. I'm an economic panda now. Yeah, man. No, this has been an amazing time. Like we've seen each other a few times, or out in the streets in DC comedy. But having a good conversation, long conversation with you, is always a pleasure, man. I can't wait to do this more often. That we'll both be out in the comedy streets.
Looking forward to seeing you, Glenn, man. Whether it be online, whether it be in person, we're gonna connect.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Congratulations on the little girl. Dude, that's
congratulations, little boy. Who knows? Maybe in time, maybe it'll be some sort of.
Hey, look, this is like we got interracial relationship, and they connect, and maybe
it could be like what? It's like Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, exactly. We're making a bunch of Soledad O'Briens, just
yo, seriously, it's gonna be something. They're gonna look at us like, man, you guys are old school.
Yeah,
you're just one race.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they used to do that back in the day.
That's boring.
But anyways, I'm gonna close the show out here. Do you gotta go, or you hang around backstage while I close it out?
Hey man, go ahead, do your thing. I probably have to get going. I gotta handle some stuff. But look, I appreciate you, Glenn. Appreciate the audience. Thank you, Gabriella. Thank you, audience. But yeah, I'll hang out in the back if you need me, but I'm not too far away.
Get out of here. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna close this show out. Everyone, that was Simone. Please follow him. Leftist Panda is his website. And then also, his what's it called? His socials, which are Simone at Simone Comedy and Simone_comedy. Follow him. He's hilarious. He's great. You will be doing yourself a massive disservice if you don't check him out. This has been fun. This has actually been pretty incredible. Great show. Not actually, I knew it was going to be great. I told you it was going to be great. This is how you start off the holiday season, man. So before I get to rambling, I'm just going to close out the show and say, blerd that out.